Good morning, children. Today, once again, we will start with the same chapter from our grammar book, that is sentences. In our last video, we have gone through the few topics, that is what is sentence, as well as what are the types of sentences, that is assertive, interrogative, imperative, exclamatory and optative. So we have already learned this portion of this particular chapter. Today we will go to the next part of the same chapter, that is what is subject and a predicate. Subject and predicate. You may check in your book, the next part is subject and predicate. So we will start it today. So let's begin. Subject and predicate. Sentence is further divided into two parts. A sentence, which we have learned in the previous class, sentence is further divided into two parts, that is subject and predicate. One by one we will learn what is subject and what is predicate. First comes to subject. The subject is that part of a sentence which names a person or a thing. So a subject is that part of a sentence which will have names of any person or any thing. The person or things about whom or which something is said means the person or the thing will be the subject of the sentence about whom or which something is to be said. Something is to be said in that sentence is called the subject of the sentence. Is called the subject of the sentence. Next, predicate. Predicate means irrespective of the subject is the one part of the sentence and the remaining part of the sentence is called predicate. The predicate is a word or a group of words that denotes what is said about the subject. So a subject is about whom or which something we will say or something is said, that is the subject, and what is said about the subject is the predicate of the sentence. Whatever said about the subject is the predicate of the subject. So once again I am saying subject is a name of a person or a thing about whom something is said, and whatever said about that person or a thing is the predicate. Come to the exercises. Examples. The children cleaned their room. The children cleaned their room. Here we will talking about, or we will saying about the children. What we will say, what the sentence is saying about? The sentence is saying about the children. So the children is the subject of the sentence. And what is said about the subject? That they cleaned their room. That they cleaned their room. The children cleaned their room. So the sentence is saying about the children, it is the subject, and what is said? Cleaned their room. So this is the predicate of the sentence. In the same way, in the next sentence you can see, the gentleman in the blue suit is our principal. The gentleman in the blue suit is our principal. So here it's a sentence. The gentleman, all the words are properly arranged, having a full stop at the end, begins with a capital letter, that is the. So the gentleman, here the sentence is talking about a gentleman. So the gentleman is a subject of the sentence. And what it is talking about? That in the blue suit is our principal. It is the remaining part of the sentence irrespective of this subject. So this would be the predicate of the sentence. Is that clear? If any problem, ask me afterwards. Now go there and sit down. I have noted two sentences over here. One is go there and sit down. These are imperative sentences. We have already learned about different types of sentences, and among them one is imperative sentence. Imperative sentence are those sentences which gives a kind of order or request. So here we have two examples of an imperative sentence, and this one is order sentence, command sentence. For example, go there, sit down. Go there, sit down. You are ordering someone to go there. You are ordering someone to sit down. You will ask me, ma'am, where is the subject? You can't see any naming word at the beginning of these two sentences. You are saying someone, but that some person or someone, the name of that particular person is not mentioned in this two sentences. So go there, sit down. So whom we will call subject and whom we will call the predicate in this sentence. So go there. In these type of sentences, the subjects are missing or in the silent form. You will write these type of sentences, or you can imagine these type of sentences in this way. Go you there, or you go there. You can write like this also. You go there. So here you, the sentence is talking about you. This is the subject. This is the subject. And what we are talking about this subject, that go there. Go there. So this is the predicate. Same, sit down. Sit you down or you sit down. So here also you is missing. You have to imagine the subject in this sentence. You is the subject and sit down is the predicate. Once again, about whom or which something is said is the subject, and whatever is said about the subject is the predicate. Come to the next part. After subject and predicate, the two important parts of the sentence, that is phrases and clauses. A sentence also having phrases and clauses. In your book only phrases been mentioned, but along with the phrases it's very important to learn about the clauses too, because phrase and clause are two important parts of a sentence. Though only the phrase is there in your syllabus, so you no need to worry more about clause, because there will be no question related to clauses, but you have to learn both the phrase and clause together. So one by one we will read what is a phrase and what is a clause. Now come to the point. Phrase and clause. Phrase. A phrase is a group of words that does not make a complete sense. Always keep it in mind that phrase and clause both are the parts of sentences. Both are the part of sentences. Phrase is a group of words that does not make a complete sense. We know that a sentence is a group of words which makes a complete sense. But phrase is that part of a sentence which does not make a complete sense. Unlike sentences, means not like sentences, phrases do not have a subject and a verb that agree with each other. Means a sentence always having a subject, as we have learned in the previous page, that a sentence must have a subject and a predicate and a verb, of course. So a subject must have a subject and a verb. But a phrase means a particular part of a sentence will not carry the subject and the verb. So the phrase will not make a complete sense. Take an example. A popular writer. A popular writer. A popular writer meaning is clear but not making a complete sense. Means who is the popular writer? About whom we are talking about? Boiling in the kettle. Next phrase. Boiling in the kettle. What is boiling in the kettle? The question will come to your mind. What is boiling in the kettle? Even you can check that it not begin with a capital letter. It's not beginning with a capital letter. So it's a part of a sentence, but it's a phrase of that sentence, that boiling in the kettle. What is boiling in the kettle? You can add a subject and a verb in front of it to make a complete sense and making a sentence clear. So here there is no subject and no verb. No subject and no verb. A popular writer, boiling in the kettle, made of milk. What is made of milk? So nothing is clear. So these are called phrases. Add some subject and verb to it. For example, a popular writer. He is a popular writer. He is. These two words I have added here. He is a popular writer. He will be the subject and is will be the verb here. What kind of a verb? This is auxiliary verb or the helping verb. So he is a popular writer. Now we will call this particular line a sentence. This is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the phrase of that sentence. Boiling in the kettle. What is boiling in the kettle? For example, potatoes are boiling in the kettle. Potatoes are boiling in the kettle. So here we are talking about potatoes. It is things. This is things. So potatoes is the subject. Are is the auxiliary verb or the helping verb. They are boiling in the kettle. Made of milk. What is made of milk? Kheer is made of milk. So here kheer, it's also a thing. It's the subject of the sentence. Is the auxiliary verb. It is made of milk. So by adding this subject and the verb, which generally or must have in the sentence, if we add these two words with the remaining part, that is phrase, then we will get a complete sense of it. But if we will omit these two words, then a complete sense is not coming of the remaining part. So they are called phrases. Next, clause. A clause is a group of words having a subject and a predicate of its own, but forming part of a bigger sentences. Clause is different from phrase. Clause is different from phrase. A clause is a group of words having a subject and a predicate. A phrase will not have a subject and a verb, but a clause will always have a subject and a verb. It's another part of a sentence added to the previous part of a sentence and making a bigger sentence. Making a bigger sentence. A clause is a group of words having a subject and a predicate of its own, but forming part of a bigger sentence. For example, I know that he is ill. I know. Here I is the subject, know is the verb. So this is one part. He is ill. Again, he is the another part of the sentence. He is the subject, is the verb, ill. So this part is a clause of the previous part of the sentence. I went. I is the subject, went is the verb. I is the subject, went is the verb. This is the one part of the sentence. After he had gone. So again he had. He is the subject, had is the verb. So again He had gone. This is the clause which is added to the previous part of a sentence and made one sentence a bigger one. So a clause is a group of words having a subject and a predicate. A clause is a group of words having subject and predicate, having subject and predicate of its own, but forming part of a bigger sentence. Forming part of a bigger sentence. Hope you have understood. Any problem, any query, ask me. Thank you.